everybody, and welcome back to the Scenic Route Astrology. My name is Makayla, and today we're going to be talking about the new moon in Cancer. That's on Friday, July 9th at 9:15 p.m. in Providence, Rhode Island. So I'm doing this for the East Coast time. So if you're somewhere else in the world, just adjust the time for your appropriate time zone. So I feel this Cancer new moon, which is a great way to lead into this, because the Cancer archetype is about our emotions and our memory and our emotional bodies, as well as our physical body. And I believe with this new moon, it's a very soft, nurturing, receptive, calming type of energy, which we could definitely use after a very busy Gemini Mercury retrograde. This new moon is like the first step after the eclipse portal that we've just closed. Many of us, I believe, have experienced loss and chapters of our lives ending in some type of way, but also with the Gemini solar eclipse, we were given new insight or new information around a new chapter to begin. Usually when one chapter ends, we've created space for something new to grow and evolve. And this energy is deeply connected to this new 20-year cycle that we're actually building with the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction that happened in Aquarius in December, on December 20th, 2020. And so this kind of new moon is truly an initiation into our belonging and our tribe and our home space. It's initiating the start and the beginning of that for this longer cycle. New moons will definitely start a 28-day cycle, as well as a 27-month cycle, but this is also really tied into the collective energy of the whole year as we begin this new 20-year cycle as well. So don't fear, because there's always room for adjustments to be made, but this is a critical new moon if you're considering, where do you belong? What kind of relationships do you belong to, or friendships? What kind of tribes are you surrounding yourself with? And by tribes, I mean groups of people, workspaces, or literal home space. I see a lot of people are deeply thinking about where they want to spend the next 20 years of their life. Where do they want to live? And so this new moon is inviting this energy in. It's asking you to look in. Cancer is a very yin energy. It's very soft and relaxed. It can have the hard shell for protection, of course, but it's fearlessly compassionate, this sign. And it wants to surround itself with family and people who are loyal, and things that give it nourishment and protection. All right, so these are energies that you might want to be thinking about around this new moon. And with new moons, it's a dark phase, okay? It's when the moon is conjunct the sun. So there's no light being reflected on the moon. We can't see it. It's in darkness, complete darkness. So it's actually not a time to take action, all right? And especially after the first week after a new moon, it's a time to be thinking deeply about what the plan would be, or what the new inspiration is, or the intentions are. It's all about intention setting during this period. And then you can start to go forth and take steps and be proactive towards whatever that is after this, right? But again, this comes back to the home. This comes back to where, you feel nurtured and protected. So If you haven't watched the Mars and Venus conjunction video, I definitely recommend that you check that out on my YouTube channel. And I also recommend that you check out the Mercury retrograde and Gemini video, because all of those energies are tied into this new moon as well. Venus and Mars, a few days after this new moon, are going to form a conjunction in Leo, and Venus is heavily aspected this week as well. Venus is going to be squaring Uranus, and the conjunction with Mars, and the moon is going to pass over Venus as well. And so love and money and relationship dynamics and our values are all on the table right now. And they're in the sign of Leo. So it's about our creative self. You know, what kind of new creative projects or relationships do we want to give birth to? Do we want to start embarking on? Or what kind of new realizations around those dynamics really matter to us? And what are we letting go of? For many people, relationship dynamics are changing. And it doesn't mean that your relationships are ending completely, but you might be discovering what new patterns, what patterns you're breaking and what new patterns you'd like to invite in. You know, there's all this new breaking up kind of energy with the Uranus in the mix, where it's like, this doesn't work for you anymore. This doesn't feel good for you anymore. So this really needs to change and shift. And we're going to see that when Venus makes it square to Uranus. Okay, when Uranus comes in, Uranus is in Taurus. It's in a Venus ruled sign. So it's amplifying up that Venus again. And the sign of Taurus is about the values that are good for the self, that serve the self, that is going to sustain you, and allow you to grow and allow you to feel stable and secure in a very Venusian way. Relationship dynamic, right? So there's a square going on with Venus and Uranus and Taurus, and it's breaking up things that if they don't serve you anymore, if they're not allowing you to grow or feel stability or feel security or feel love, even creative love, self-love, self-expression. If things are kind of holding you back and you feel like you've been held back, there's an energy that's going to be coming over you that's going to want to break you through these patterns and release these patterns so that they can change. And this is a permanent change. This is big energy. And then you have to, think about these changes and manifest what new intentions you have over this new moon. All right. So this is a time to be very receptive with yourself, receptive with the energies that come in, especially with the information that's going to start to come in this last week as Mercury is finishing up its shadow, and it's finishing up over the retrograde points that it retrograded over. And so you're getting like these last bits of omens and symbols and information or things that you didn't know before. These last bits are coming through during this week just to finish wrapping up the story. And then Mercury is going to shift into Cancer, and it's going to ask you, go more inward with the way that you're thinking, perceiving these things, and nurture yourself even further towards these new intentions. So soften yourself with this, because Mercury is also going to be squaring Neptune and Pisces. And Neptune is a planet that it's not a personal planet. It has a bigger energy than us, and it affects us on a bigger scale and a collective scale. But it's a water energy that wants you to connect to spirit and to the divine. And in that sense, make you more whole, or make you feel more whole. So whether you're religious or you're spiritual, there's these belief systems that make us feel like we have a connection beyond the physical reality around us. And so Mercury squaring that Neptune will kind of dissolve our reality in some ways. It will soften things up, but it will also give us messages that we really need to be looking and relaxed and ready to receive, so that we can get the final information that we need, so we can have the whole picture, to become to step into our energy, to step into our Leo, Mars, Venus, and Leo energy, right? So that we can be more self-expressive, show up for what our heart needs are and our desires are, have the confidence like Leo, and strength and courage. And so we might need this Neptunian energy, this support from the divine intelligence or spiritual intelligence, or our ancestors, to help support us, to push us forward and where we're heading on our path. And I also see relationships kind of taking a trip, and whether that is a short-term trip or a long-term trip, and leaving our lives, it's because Juno, the asteroid of relationships and love and marriage, sometimes is retrograde. So she's looking back. She's looking back at stories, and she's in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius will take flight. It'll go off on its own, it'll expand, but this energy is on the South Node right now. And oftentimes, we will, I don't want to say lose things through the South Node, but sometimes it manifests as, things leave us, or we need to let things go, or, it was too easy for us. So maybe this relationship pattern was too easy because we did it in a prior lifetime. We did it, and so we're used to it, and that's that's what's comfortable to us, and that's what we're drawn to naturally because it was from a prior lifetime. And now we need to let go of that. Okay, South Node, let go. And that will funnel us into the objective, into the North Node in Gemini. New relationships, new creative, curious expressions of finding and relating to other people, of communicating with other people, and there's opportunity there for sure. And Mercury retrograde might have given you new opportunities along this way. And that's why it's really important to be open and receptive during this new moon, so that your heart space and your mental space and your physical space, which I'll get into in a minute, can be receptive and open to these new energies that are being given to us, really. So the new moon is also going to sextile Uranus. So the sun and the moon will be in a sextile to Uranus. So this is an energy that is like, it's okay to step out of your comfort zone. It's okay to embark on something new that is different or rebellious or breaking the rules or out of the blue, or maybe quite even genius. These Uranus archetypes, it might even be more truthfully aligned with who you are, and it's scary. It's definitely scary to create change or to have change come into our life and then to step into something new with that change, right? But it's often going to lead us into a new level of consciousness or a new level in our life, or a great new relationship that comes in, or any kind of opportunity. There is always opportunity when we let something go, and we choose to step out of our comfort zone. Energy, it continues on, it continues to move. So it's not like you're going to leave something and not get it replaced with something else. There's no empty space. There's energy all around us all the time. Things are always shifting and moving and affecting each other. It's very much a fan effect. Okay, time is not linear in that sense. It's an energy that is constantly rippling out. Okay, and so the more that you create space to, I'm going to get into the law of attraction, but the more that you create energy and space that is vibrating higher, it's like a vibrational pulse that kind of trickles out and will match you with the new energy and vibration, right? So you raise it higher, and you go into new experiences, more rebellious or free-spirited kind of experiences, and you'll watch what C comes back to you, especially if it's truly aligning with how you feel comfort and nurtured, and security. These very important Cancer archetype traits. And the Venus and Mars conjunction in Leo is going to be supportive of you doing that in a playful, creative, heart-centered space. It really is wanting you to do that. And the two planets are just finishing up their T-squares with the opposition to Saturn and the square to Uranus. And so we're breaking through Saturn structures. We're breaking through things that have been holding us back, but we're also establishing something for the long term goal. Father Time, Saturn and Aquarius is going to reward you as long as you are stepping into your true authentic path and you're staying true to yourself and you're not creating your own roadblocks. So you might be confused right now on where to go, what direction, and that's okay. We have a lot of Neptune energy. We have the Mercury with the square to the Neptune, and then the sun and the moon are actually going to be trining Neptune. So there is that. The trine is a nice aspect. It's not a very difficult aspect. It's very supportive. So Neptune is going to be encouraging you to get into that soft dream space this week. Really try to tap into that dream. What was your childhood dreams even, because the Cancer archetype has memory and it holds memory, and it often can relate to our childhood. It can also relate to our childhood wounds. So maybe there's stuff that needs to come up that needs to be healed, this is very supportive energy for healing. This is supportive energy to give birth to your creativity, your creative purposes. This is supportive energy to make adjustments around your home life and your family and your relationships and your security and your needs. This is really good energy to actually initiate healing around the physical body. Do a cleanse or a detox or juice for a little while, or just start eating better or making the right foods or meal prepping really healthy foods. The Cancer archetype has to do with food oftentimes and our connection to food. So are you treating your body right? Are you eating healthy? Are you drinking enough water? Are you getting all the nutrients that you need? Are you getting some sunlight with some sunblock every day? Are you, nurturing yourself in all the ways that you can? Take naps this week. If you're tired, go for a nap. Dream, get into that soft, receptive dream space around this time. I really think the theme around this new moon is home is where the heart is. It might not be where you're physically at. You might be making changes, and this is definitely a year of a lot of restructuring and our scaffolding in our lives. The foundations in our lives are being rebuilt. Collectively, we see that, and individually, we all see that, okay? And so this is a really good space and time to nurture yourself so that you can show up for the collective. The Jupiter-Saturn, to bring it back to the beginning of this video, the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in December, on December 20th, was a conjunction in Aquarius. And, Aquarius is the exile archetype, right? It's the outsider archetype, but it thinks about the people, and it has acceptance for all of the people all together, right? And so it also rules groups of people. And so in a way, it's allowing everybody to be an individual in a group and accepting that overall. And so if we can learn to forgive ourselves, love ourselves, nurture ourselves, and then allow ourselves to be our true, authentic selves, then we have created our own space in this world, in this energy field that we're sitting in, and we're allowing that to be. And then we can show up as our individual self, and every single gift that you have you have something to offer individually and totally unique to the whole collective, you know. And then Uranus is the modern ruler for Aquarius, right? And Uranus is a big planet this year. You know, the Saturn Uranus squares are the biggest transits that we're having this year. So are you nurturing your individual self and giving yourself the comfort and the security that you need so that you can show up confidently, Mars, Venus, Leo, and strongly into the collective? You know, I think we really need everybody to just be able to be their individual selves, because I guarantee you those unique gifts that you have to offer and give that nobody else has, and that they can offer and give to the collective, it's needed somewhere. Even if you end up helping just like one person, that one person could have been a person that writes a life-changing book that helps 20 million people. You know, this is why it's this fan energy, this energy that is not linear at all. You never know how your unique gifts and yourself is going to affect the whole entire collective and the world. So that's the way I'm thinking about this, at least. So there's inner wisdom to be found within this new moon. And like any new moon, especially with the Cancer archetype, I will suggest that you do water rituals, that you can lay out water in a new moon as well and drink that throughout the week. It's easy just to get a gallon at, you know, CVS or whatever and put it out overnight. Cleanse all your crystals if you like crystals. Work with tarot cards. I have a video on my Instagram on just how to work with tarot for beginners. It's super easy, I promise. Use Palo Santo to cleanse your space. Candle magic, blue candles like I have in the back are good. It represents the water archetype, but whatever color feel like you are drawn to is okay as well. White is always good for spirit. And then like shower and bath rituals, or ocean, like getting by the water, of course, like trying to connect with where the crab lives, right? In the ocean and the ocean tides. But if you're in the middle of the country, or, you know, maybe there's a lake you can go to, or maybe, you know, you just take a nice long hot shower or a bath, you know. And then of course, always journaling. I think it's really, really cool technique to set your intentions on a new moon. Even if you just write like, I want a new house by, you know, 2022. And then, you know, you can reflect back and you take the steps, right? But you can reflect back at the previous year and look back at your new moon intentions and see how far you manifested and came from that time point. But it's about putting the energy out there, putting the vibration out there, even speaking to your angels, speaking to your ancestors, past loved ones, you know, saying, I am grateful. All these things start to help raise your vibration and attract more energy into your force field. And then you get to manipulate the energy. You really do. You know, you are in control of your life, and the more consciousness you raise into yourself, which can be really, really heightened over this new moon, the more that you can work with your life and co-create your life with the universe. So as always, I'm really excited about this new moon. And if you have any questions, please, or you know, you want to share what's showing up for you during this Cancer season, during this new moon, please drop me a comment down below. I love to read comments. Please give me a like and subscribe. Please support my channel. Share on your platforms or share with some friends. And if you want to book an astrology reading and figure out what's going on for you and the transitions that are going on, and you need help manifesting, or you have questions about your life purpose and direction or clarity, you can always book a reading with me off of my Instagram, The Scenic Route Astrology, or on my website, www.astroroots.com. So as always, you have unlimited strength and potential, and I will be back again soon. Thank you. Take care.